Good morning and welcome to the Recovery Report Live. Apologies, we're a little bit late today. We've had a lot of calls, a lot of text messages, a lot of emails between Tuesday, Wednesday, and into this morning, actually, really. We've seen a tremendous amount of extreme weather, we'll call it. I'm going to get into that today. We're going to talk through a couple of the main points of what's happened over the past couple of days and how you guys as insureds and policyholders should be viewing it. But let me get into who GlobalPro is, as I always do. We're your insurance coverage expert before, during, or after any loss or damage. The pedigree of our team, the extensive active collective experience, our unwavering advocacy for our policyholders, and the care for our community makes GlobalPro uniquely qualified to represent over 1,400 community associations, hundreds of developers, builders, and contractors, thousands of business owners and homeowners, and dozens of private clients and family offices. We have represented clients all over North America and the Caribbean. And our team, our process, and our experience has resulted in the recovery of over $1.2 billion for our clients over the past 11 and a half years. So again, welcome to the Recovery Report Live. We have a new episode today. And to start off today's episode, I'm going to do actually a kick check first. And the reason is I had to bring my galoshes today. I had to bring my boots. We've seen a lot of water the past couple of nights here. And ultimately, it was a truly unbelievable, unique weather event that we're going to talk about today. We don't get opportunities like this often, but I want to make sure that you guys understand what actually just happened. The way I can describe what's going on as far as the team here at GlobalPro and some of the associations and business owners and other insurers that we talk to is that storm season is supposed to almost be coming to an end. We're getting into the end of November at this point. And right now, the theme for 2023 is much similar to what it was a couple years ago where, storm season kind of came in like a lamb and now we're ending like a lion. So we have this activity that's been going crazy for the past couple of months here, the second, third, or second half of the storm season for 2023. Now all of a sudden, at the very eve of the conclusion to the storm season, we have this incredible storm that gained speed and strength throughout Tuesday evening, throughout Wednesday lingering, and then really strong last night, into this morning. What's interesting here is that the Keys and South Florida really, I guess weren't prepared. I mean, we didn't really see it on the forecast until the very, very last second. So trying to figure out what happened there, we have no idea. But again, that presents this unique opportunity to talk about this actual weather event here. The Keys last night, if you watched the radar, actually experienced a little bit of convection. It was an odd situation. But this storm that seemingly, again, came out of nowhere, right, was 40 to 50% higher from a total strength or a total wind speed perspective throughout the past couple of days, which is well above normal. The amount of water produced was absolutely tremendous. But the fact of the matter is, the most important, in my opinion, the most important aspect of what has occurred is that this was a no-name windstorm. It wasn't a tropical storm. It wasn't a hurricane. There was no name. It came seemingly out of nowhere. And again, the things I want to talk about today are what happened to the forecast, the speed and strength, the amount of water that it produced and dumped all over South Florida, and then we'll get into how that relates to the insurance policies that are insuring a lot of the properties and policyholders that we represent. So for the fact of the matter is, we follow a lot of forecasters or storm chasers and what have you, right? We have a gigantic network of folks around and surrounding the weather industry. The forecast from what I've researched, what Dan has followed, what our team is following, again, really we're really delayed here, really last minute. So that presents, again, this opportunity to talk about this unique situation because the forecasts were so delayed and so slow, and then all of a sudden it picked up, this wave of media, this wave of attention kind of came through, and we have these storms I mentioned before. Over the length of it was 40 to 50% higher than normal wind. So let's define that a little bit. In South Florida, to have a 20 mile per hour, 25 mile per hour, sometimes even 30 mile per hour rainstorm is not kind of out of the ordinary. It happens more occasionally, more often than you probably would think. And so that kind of presents the bracket for the norm. Anything between 20 and 30 is kind of what you should expect on a bad storm here in South Florida. The winds that we experienced over the past, 40 hours, we'll call it, we're trending more towards 50 to 60 miles an hour, with gusts around that 60 mile an hour mark, more often than not. So you have this almost doubling, right? But over the long haul, it was about 50% higher than the 20 to 30 mile per hour range. But 50 to 60 miles per hour is basically gale force winds. I mean, we're talking tropical storm strength winds. Category 1 storms usually start about 70, 75 miles per hour. So we were right on the edge. And again, the forecasts really weren't up to speed. The winds picked up, the strength and speed of this storm picked up, and eventually you saw that convection, that hurricane-looking convection down in the Keys last night. And again, we're getting calls, texts, and emails left and right about things that have unfortunately happened, in terms of loss and damage. I think the second thing to talk about, obviously, is the amount of water that this storm produced. Right, I'm getting early indications here. The reporting takes, there's a lag, takes a little bit of time, but from everything I can see around the Miami area, we're seeing about 9 inches of rainfall. Again, most of it, from what we can tell, came last night. I mean, I went home here from the office around 6:30, 6:45. I stopped at the LBA toy drive event that we had. It was right down the street. And between the time of me leaving the office around 6:30, 6:45, and getting back to my place, to our place, the roads were flooded. There were trees and branches and debris all over the road. Emergency services were everywhere. I mean, it was really, really quick, and it came in a short amount of time. Kind of similar to what happened back in April when we got over 20 inches, 20, 24, 25 inches, mostly in the Broward area, that absolutely inundated the storm and drainage systems and flooded many parts of Broward County, of course, but also millions of gallons of water entered into the bay and pushed down to Miami Beach and into Miami. So this storm was unique because of the strength and the speed and everything. What's also unique is that it's the second time this year that it's happened, which normally you don't get instances like this. So unbelievable situation. Now, with all that being said, again, I think the most important aspect here is that this was a no-name storm. Okay, so let me explain what I mean by that, right? It's important because of policy coverage and also deductibles, right? All this recent legislation that we keep talking about, all these accommodations that the insurance company, in our opinion, but it's also written in the legislation, the amendments there, that these insurance companies, accommodations insurance companies have received, have resulted in being pushed to the insureds. So in this instance, right, deductibles now for hurricanes or named storms are typically about 5 to 10% of TIV, right? So total insurable value, 5 to 10% of TIV. Why is that important? Well, today, community associations have to insure their buildings for the most recently appraised value. And we know what real estate values are right now after the last couple of years, 2-3 years. And think about what I'm saying. If you have a $100 million property, which is not out of the question here in South Florida, obviously, and you have a 10% of TIV deductible, that is a tremendous amount of money to come up with should your building be damaged by a named storm. So what's interesting here again is that this was a no-name storm that had almost Category 1 type of wind and strength and wind speeds, and the amount of water that it produced and dumped on the area is almost as significant, maybe a little bit more. But there is no 5 to 10% deductible of TIV, right? Why is that important? Well, if you suffer damages, right, it's usually susceptible to the all perils deductible, which is much less than the named storm deductible. This is a significant difference in when you're thinking about the financial prudence of either pursuing a claim, not pursuing a claim, figuring out how much you're technically going to self-insure, and I bring that up a lot. A 10% TIV of a $100 million building is essentially saying you community associations have to self-insure. In this instance, it's the least or lowest amount of the deductible options there, and again makes the financial decision or the prudency behind making that decision a little bit easier, right? You don't have this big hurdle that you have to pass, right? I think that in and of itself is one of the biggest impacts. Okay, so to kind of expand on that, right? What type of damages have we seen so far? We've gotten pictures of trees on top of houses, trees that have fallen and broken and impacted big towers, community associations, trees on top of cars. I've seen 4 or 5 foot flooded roadways. there's a lot going on right now. I think the three things that I want to focus on today for most of our clients: one, if there's actual physical damage and loss, meaning a tree has fallen on your property, or a tree has hit the building, or flying debris has broken windows, destroyed stucco, there's impact marks on your property. That's obvious. You can see it, and that's something that needs to be considered, again, because the deductible here is the all perils deductible as opposed to the named storm deductible. I think, to give further consideration to what happened here, though, many of the associations that we represent today are mixed-use properties, meaning they have a restaurant or retail or something else on the first floor. A lot of the businesses that we're getting contacted from and associations simply, they lost power, right? They lost power and they haven't gotten it back yet. And yeah, maybe they did have also water damage that affected, the interiors and anything on the exterior. But ultimately, from a business owner standpoint, if you have produce or protein or you have anything there that's now spoiled or could potentially be spoiled in the next 20, 24 hours, we'll say, that's sunk cost that you're not going to get back. Being closed also prevents you from earning income. All of this needs to be documented. It all needs to be appropriately reconciled. And the folks here at GlobalPro can obviously help you out with that. We are adept at not only the accounting side of it, but also the physical damage side of it as well. So another consideration for the associations, aside from also the physical damage that has occurred here. I think also the one thing you should also consider, again, is expanding on that is loss of use, right? Some of these properties are so physically damaged that they've also lost use of the property, of their asset, and maybe you have a tenant, you have a renter. If it's a commercial property and you have retail or a restaurant, again, you're losing rent there. So on the flip side of these properties and the assets, if you're the owner and the association is losing income, that's also something else that needs to be contemplated, needs to be reconciled properly, needs to be described and documented, and it needs to be claimed appropriately. So these are all things that we need to think about. Again, today marks a unique chance to talk about an opportunity that again, kind of came out of nowhere. The strength and speed of it was absolutely incredible, almost Category 1 type strength from wind speed perspective, and the way it moved and how quickly it moved. And then the third thing is the amount of water that it dumped and produced on the area is absolutely tremendous as well. What I'm going to do in the caption here, just to wrap all that up, we have a ton of information. Please follow us on social media. Check us out. Follow us on LinkedIn. We're going to be pumping out a ton of information about making flood claims. Making claims for loss and damage when it comes to the property. You have to call and notice the insurer properly. You have to explain exactly what happened here. Again, a no-name storm is a unique opportunity here to if you've been damaged, to recover for damages that typically, if this was named, would be susceptible to the named storm deductible. So again, let the representatives that you choose to hire and engage with, especially the insurance coverage experts at GlobalPro, help guide you through that process. Let them advocate on your behalf and make sure, again, that you're properly documenting and valuing the damages, whether they're financial, whether it's property damage or otherwise, right? And work with them to ensure that you fully recover from this. Okay. Again, it's going to be in the GP links here in the caption. You're going to be able to go to our website. We're going to have a ton of posts today to keep in front of this information and make sure we're delivering it to you. So again, stay tuned to the next week's episode, the caption below, and just stay tuned to our social media and website for all the information you could possibly need to help recover from this. You can always call us anytime, 855-487-7475. Any of the insurance coverage experts at GlobalPro are ready, willing, and able, and we are happy to come assist and give you the best advocacy that we can. Again, thank you very much for joining us. This was, again, a tremendous chance to talk about something unique, and that's why I have my polo on today. I got my boots. I'm ready to get out there. We already have inspections lined up, so I'm going to head out now and go do those and help out our insureds. If you found this episode helpful, obviously, please subscribe, follow, like. Check us out on social media and LinkedIn and follow us on our website in the Storm Center. Don't hesitate to reach out ever. Again, number is 855-487-7475. You can always email us as well at recover@globalpro.com. If you, your association, your business, or your home has suffered loss or damage, always call us first. Okay? Thank you for joining us again. Good luck out there. Stay dry. Join us next week right here at the Griffin Studio at the Nucleus Hub. Same time, same GlobalPro channel. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Good luck.